It's rapid fire time.
The best time of the show.
That's right. Let's start with this. Notre Dame minus 11.5, an 11.5 point favorite. That line actually moved in their favor a point over the last couple days. The over-under 40.5 for Notre Dame and Cal. What do you like Saturday?
So wait, you're telling me that Notre Dame is actually favored
by 11.5 right now
to beat 2-0 Cal as 0-2 Notre Dame, who just lost to Marshall. I think that is very surprising in my opinion. I think that line should be probably around 6.5, maybe for Notre Dame. Okay. I don't think that Notre Dame has deserved to be an 11.5 point favorite in this game. You know, Cal has been able to succeed offensively and put up points. Notre Dame has not been able to succeed offensively and put up points. That's not even a tease. That's a smash. I think this game definitely hits the over. That's only 20 points per team. Maybe that's, so what, 3 touchdowns each. I think Notre Dame might get 4 and then Cal gets 2. But I'm definitely thinking that this game is going to get racked up in points because Cal, like I said, Cal likes to pass the ball. It's going to be a long game, whether or not they're getting, incompletions or first downs. The clock is going to be stopping a lot. There's going to be more possessions. So I do see this game definitely hitting the over, but I don't like Notre Dame as 11.5 point favorites. I think that number should be down a little bit.
Completely agree with that. I like the over on this as well. I believe that is my score prediction, which will come out tomorrow at Irish Breakdown when we publish all of our score predictions. The over I do like Notre Dame winning this game, but again, I think points are going to be somewhat at a premium just based on the way things have gone so far. And I agree, 11.5 just seems crazy in this. I don't know. 11.5 is a lot. I agree. Like a touchdown or so seems a lot more reasonable based on how things have gone so far. Fill in the blank. It's blank that Notre Dame has not forced a turnover through its first 2 games.
It is inexcusable that Notre Dame has not created a turnover the first 2 games. I could give a pass to them against Ohio State. That's a very good quarterback, a very good offense, a guy who knows what to do with the ball in that kind of situation. But to not get anything against Marshall was a little head scratching. I know Columbia, they like to run the ball and they like to get the ball out quick, so chances of turnovers are a little bit lower. But I mean, when you're Notre Dame and you're supposed to have this kind of presence on defense, especially your defensive line, you need to create pressure to force interceptions. You need to create pressure and get some sacks that potentially might lead to some fumbles. But it's completely inexcusable in my opinion. I think if Notre Dame wants to win this game, they need to create at least 1 turnover from Cal.
Interesting that Ohio State still hasn't created a turnover yet, as Archer 452 just let us know. I didn't pay that close attention to their game last week.
When they play Toledo this week, they don't really need to create a bunch of turnovers. That offense is just
That's true.
It's going to be an air raid again, just like it was last week.
That's true.
My boss, huge Ohio State fan, and we were talking today. I don't see Ohio State not scoring less than 21 points again this season. I think that they're definitely going to hit over 21 points the rest of this game. And when you have an offense like that, I know what you're saying. Like it's like, okay, why be so hard if even a team like Ohio State hasn't created a turnover, but Ohio State doesn't need to create turnovers at a level that Notre Dame does because Ohio State's offense is one of the best in the country.
And right now,
Notre Dame's offense is kind of at the bottom of the country, if we're being honest.
Because if you cause a turnover in either of those games last week, you're probably looking at completely different outcomes in both games. Especially if you come up with it at the right time. If it's an opportunistic type turnover, and it's just unfathomable to me. Now I realize you've got a new defensive coordinator and all that, but you also have a new head coach with a defensive background, and this team was 15th in the nation last year in turnover margin. They were +9 in turnover margin last year. And to be sitting here 2 games into the season, especially when you're playing a group of 5 team and you can't cause 1 turnover to help affect a game, and you turn the ball over that many more times than Marshall, you lose the turnover margin against Marshall. It is just it is just bonkers to me, because watching these guys in training camp, we got to see a lot of the position drills at the beginning of practice, and both sides of the ball. The focus was, the focus for the offense was ball security. The focus for the defense in their position groups was going and, ball hawking, going and getting the ball. And so far, we've not seen it. Now, Al Golden said this week, a lot of times these things come in bunches, and they just haven't been able to cause anything so far. So it's really head scratching that, especially in a game like last week, they lose the turnover margin. They were not able to cause anything. So let me turn that into this one on that same subject. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you agree with this? If Notre Dame has more sacks than Cal and wins the turnover battle Saturday, they will get their first win.
Oh, that's 10 out of 10. That's if they get more sacks, they create some turnovers, I don't doubt that they will win the game. I think that gives the offense a little bit of momentum. I think that the defense knows that they need to, anchor down and create those turnovers and create those kind of sacks and those situations to get Cal's offense off the field. It's a direct correlation. The more that this defense excels, the higher probability that Notre Dame has to win. And that's largely a product of, the offensive struggles and a backup quarterback going on right now. And it sounds like my dog
I think Henry agrees. I think
yeah.
Henry agrees with everything that you're saying. He's like, yeah, you nailed it. You nailed it, Pops.
He's getting fired up back here. He sees me, and he knows what needs to be done.
That's right. Exactly. And I completely agree. Like Isaiah Foskey forced 6 fumbles last year, and he was the sack leader last year. And we finally saw a sack last week. I think that's a big part of it. Again, like this is a team that gave up 4 sacks to Cal last week. If Isaiah Foskey can get free, I think he alone can accomplish both things. Again, we're talking about 2 close games. They were unable to force a turnover in either game. I think that definitely, if they get to Plummer more regularly and they win the win the turnover margin, they're going to win this game on Saturday. Absolutely agree with that. They've got to be able to help this offense out by getting a couple of takeaways during a game. It's just as simple as that. So, Jess, we're going to see a new quarterback, of course, Saturday. Drew Pyne making his first career start. Cooper Rush is going to start for the Dallas Cowboys as well this weekend. So, whose quarterback situation are you more confident in right now? Notre Dame's or the Cowboys?
I would have to say I'm more confident in Notre Dame, actually. And that's because, the Notre Dame or the Cowboys last week problems went beyond the quarterback play. They had one wide receiver and a bunch of undrafted free agents out there. And when you don't have guys running to the right part of the field, you can't really do anything because then your scheme falls apart. The plays are largely designed on wide receivers running a very specific route and occupying very specific zones in the field. And you couple that with a backup quarterback and still bad wide receivers, I think that there's an issue. Flip side, Notre Dame, they have the players to make plays in space. They're just not getting them the ball in an efficient manner. But I think that they've kind of realized those things. And like I said, that I think that Pyne's going to be ready to get that ball out. He's going to rip it. And I think that he's going to get the ball to his guys very quickly, and there's going to be little hesitation. I think that he's going to have 1 or 2 kind of primary reads, and outside of that, he's going to probably be told just to eat the ball at that point. He's going to get it's going to be a lot of quick pace, hike, quick drop, get the ball out quickly and let our guys get in space. And I think that, Notre Dame has that advantage is they have more players in the skill position who know what they're doing compared to the Dallas Cowboys, which is kind of crazy to say.
Yeah, I've seen the Cooper Rush story before, and I mean, you nailed all the details right there. And, we saw the Cooper Rush story 2 years ago when Dak Prescott broke his ankle. It did not end well. The skill position, just again, as you detailed right there, the skill position situation for the Cowboys right now is much worse than it was 2 years ago. So I am much more confident in Notre Dame's situation, especially if, they've got the skill. They've got guys with speed. They have to get them on the field and they have to utilize it. That is the big thing. Are you going to put Drew Pine in a position to succeed by having some of these guys on the field and getting the ball in their hands in ways that we have not seen so far? That's the biggest question. Tom asking, as we were talking about Jack Plummer, does he have wheels, the Cal quarterback? He does not. He's not Jake Plummer, from back in the day, Jake the Snake. He is Jack Plummer, and he does not have the same kind of wheels that Jake Plummer has. And Plummer,
I like this one too. I'm glad
salty,
you brought this one up.
Plummer likes to throw interceptions. Let's accommodate him.
He loves the hash to hash throw, which is very surprising. Like in the game I don't know if it's the product of who they're playing, UNLV, but he made 2 throws all the way across the field, hash to hash, like 10 yards down. And I'm telling you, I said it yesterday, Tyreek Bracy going to create that first turnover. He's going to try that deep across the field throw. Tyreek Bracy is going to go up and get it. I'm telling you right now, all of you can pay me next week.
All right.
When Tyreek Bracy gets that interception,
I'm ready.
First turnover created by the defense.
Everyone's buying Jesse a beer next week if that happens, right?
I'll post my Venmo in the chat. Don't worry.
All right. Oblige him. I feel like that was an Inglourious Bastards reference. I don't know if it actually was or not from Salty. But up as fragged, says Shun's right regarding turnovers. Barring that game, should not be close. Offensive stat for Caldo versus Davis. First quarter, 4 possessions, 3 punts, interception, total yards -1. O is bad. Defense is middling. Notre Dame ++. Yeah. Get a turnover or 2, and you can drastically change the complexion of the game. Here's a question for you, Jess, on Notre Dame's offense. Will Notre Dame, which will Notre Dame have first this season? A 100-yard rusher or a 100-yard receiver?
I believe it's going to be a 100-yard receiver, and it's going to be against Cal. I don't know if it's going to be Mayer. I honestly could see as long as they do what they're supposed to, I could see Tyree creeping up just because of his big play ability, being able to, catch maybe a screen and go 20, 30 yards. And it's so hard to say who it's going to be because they're not putting the best personnel out there.
Yeah.
It could easily be Tobias Merriweather in a game like this because, again, you get him the ball and you just let him operate in space with his athleticism. You don't got to know a whole lot as a wide receiver to catch a screen. It's really not that difficult. So I think it's going to be a 100-yard receiver. I just don't know. It's going to be this game. I just don't know who it's going to be. It's got to be someone like Mayer or Tyree or Merriweather. I don't think it's, outside of those 3, I don't know who else it could really be.
Yeah, I'm going to say receiver as well because, like what you were talking about, we've seen so much of Estime, and I like Estime, but the problem is he's just got to get it up in there and find a hole. There's still too much lateral movement. Now, not all that is his fault. Some of that is the play design and stuff like that, but I think it's the receiver as well. Fill in the blank. Notre Dame wearing green jerseys against Cal Saturday is blank.
Notre Dame wearing green uniforms is tradition against Cal. I love the green uniforms. I don't care if you're 0-2. I don't care how bad you are. I love the green uniforms, and any excuse to wear them, to me, it's an extension of the Notre Dame tradition. I don't know if there's any more iconic green jerseys than Notre Dame's. I love the way that they look this year. I think they did a great job with those, and I'm really excited to see them wear them. And, maybe it's that little spark that the team needs. There's always – guys love that kind of stuff, whether it's a jersey, whether it's, a new pair of cleats that they're wearing for the game. Guys eat that stuff up. And with the team that's struggling right now, I think doing things like this, I know it's been planned. No one knew that they would be 0-2 going into this game. But I just think it provides just a little bit more of that factor of guys enjoying being out there. And I think it's fun. I love when they wear the green uniforms. I hope that they give out a green towel like they used 2 years ago for every fan. That way, everyone's participating with the green. I just think it should be a green invasion this Saturday, and it should be all hands on deck to get this first win.
I love the fact that they're wearing green. I was talking to some people earlier this week, and I heard that there were already people saying, oh, if we lose again, it's going to be because of the green. You're not going to lose because of the green jerseys. I'm sorry. And it was already planned. And I love the fact that they did it this way, that they weren't just springing the green, on everybody. I think that there should be one designated green game every year. I love the fact they're doing it. They tweeted out a picture of the green jerseys today. And as you said, names on the back, the names are in white. The numbers are navy blue with the gold trim, which I don't like. I don't like those dark numbers on this green, especially. If this green was a little bit lighter and there was more differentiation, I would just prefer white, solid white numbers on these. Yep. I think it would be a really because the white names, again, go to the Notre Dame football Twitter account. You can see the picture of them if you haven't seen them already. That that white lettering pops on that green. I would like to see white numbers to match. I think that it would really pop. It would really look sharp. But I love the green. I'm glad they're doing it.
Yeah, like you can kind of see on the IB flag back there, it would be ideal if they did the white lettering and the gold outline with the green uniforms. If they just changed those navy blue numbers to a white color, I think that they would be perfect. But I can't complain. I still think that they look sharp, and I'm excited for them to wear them this weekend.
Yeah, Brian said white or gold numbers. I agree. I would rather see that. Okay, after drafting Lions wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown in fantasy football, a guy direct messaged St. Brown on IG, and here's what he said. Congrats! You've been selected to my fantasy team. With that being said, I want to set some ground rules. We'll be perfect in every aspect of the game. You drop a pass, you run a mile. You miss a blocking assignment, you run a mile. You fumble the football, and I'll break my foot off in your John Brown hind parts, and then you will run a mile. Perfection. Jesse, what are your thoughts on this? A guy drafting a player on his fantasy football team and sending him this kind of message.
It's like when you read something like this, you just hope that he's trolling, right? Like it can't be it can't be serious. And if it is serious, then there's so many more problems going on. Do you think that you as one person is going to influence the play of an NFL wide receiver? And two, don't you think that St. Brown knows these things? Don't you think he's trying to catch every pass? Don't you think he's trying to execute every block? Do you think
you're going to motivate a professional football player to do better with a message like this?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, one, are you trolling? And two, what are you hoping to accomplish if you're not? Either way, it's not a good look. I hate that these people get so consumed. Fantasy football is supposed to be fun, have a good time. It gives you the opportunity to probably watch some players that you don't normally watch, and it gets you into some games outside of, the team that you root for. And unfortunately, it just like with everything else, guys, not guys and females find ways to just take it to the next level for no reason. And it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yes, it is. It is above and beyond. And St. Brown posted, he took a screenshot of it and posted it. I guess we shouldn't be surprised, but I'll just say, don't be sending direct messages to guys you draft in fantasy football. It's like you hear all these stories about people, like they get a chance to meet some of these players. Oh, I've got you on my fantasy football team. That's the last thing these players want to hear about, is you getting them on their fantasy football team. Because like you said, I think they're motivated enough without it. We are Marshall. I took the first pick in my fantasy draft, the Dallas Cowboys backup quarterback. Good luck with that. God bless you. I will say, Cooper Rush. Okay, last question tonight. Aaron Judge has 57 home runs this season. This is our token baseball question for the week. I guess it's our second, actually. We had a Pujols question earlier. If he gets to 62, he would rank first the New York Yankees record and the still standing American League home run record of 61 set by Roger Maris. So if Judge does that, would you consider him to be the true MLB single season home run record holder?
It's tough because you got, 6 different kind of, outside of Maris, you got 3 seasons by Sosa, 2 seasons by McGuire, and then obviously Barry Bonds has the single season record, but all of that is kind of shadowed, neglected, overlooked by the steroids. And so This one's hard for me because I say Barry Bonds should still be in the Hall of Fame. And if I make that stance, then I believe that it should hold true that Barry Bonds' single season home run record should stand as true as well. And so for those reasons, I don't think that I could necessarily recognize it as the single season record. And another thing I want to say is I am far more concerned. This Aaron Judge thing is cool, hitting a lot of home runs. I'm more consumed with Pujols getting to 700.
Are you?
I could care less about Judge's, home runs this season. I think that's a product of him being a Yankee and all of those things.
Well, there have been a lot of other Yankees, though, who have never got to 62 or even, 60 for that matter.
Yeah. And so I
don't like the Yankees, but I agree. I agree with, but there have been a lot of other Yankees who haven't even got that many.
So, yeah, is it impressive? Yes. Could I ever do it? No. Is it very hard? Has any other Yankee ever done it? No. And I would be impressed. Yes. If he could set the single season Yankee record for, it's the hands down the best organization, in MLB. But what I'm saying is I am more consumed with Albert Pujols getting to 700. I think that's far more of a milestone than a single season record, to have the longevity over his career and to hit a milestone of 700.
Very true.
Think that's a big number. And a side question, I know we're kind of derailing here a little bit, but I want to ask you, if you're Albert Pujols, because he's got about a month left to get 3 home runs, if he gets 2 more and sits at 699, do you ask the Cardinals to bring you back until you get to 700?
This is what Vince and I talked about the other day. I think you've got to come back.
You have to.
Now, the question is he coming back with the Cardinals, or is he coming back with, the Pittsburgh Pirates, or
it's only going to be the Cardinals? No one's going to give him a contract if he's sitting at 699. He's done so much for the Cardinals. I think that there's no way that you sit at 699 and call it a career. You tell the Cardinals, hey, I'm playing. You don't even have to pay me. I just want career home run number 700. As soon as I hit it, I'll retire, and you'll never have to hear from me again.
That's exactly right. Let me DH for a week and see if I can get it, or 2 weeks, or however long it takes. I agree with that. Pujols needs to come back if he's sitting on 699. They're both hitting at a clip that they should break this record. I guess back to so I completely agree with what you were talking about with Pujols. I think you got to come back if you're sitting on 699. I think he's going to get over 700 this year.
Oh, they're going to throw him lob balls,
Yeah,
they're going to just feed him some fastballs right down the middle.
I think Barry Bonds was a great player, but I think Aaron Judge, there needs to be, at this point, if you were going to put an asterisk next to Roger Maris's 61 for as long as they did, which they did in the record books, there's got to be an asterisk next to Barry Bonds.
Oh, yeah.
As well. But unfortunately, there's not. Now, we don't know with 100% certainty that Aaron Judge isn't taking anything, because there are other synthetic, and I'm not saying that he is. I'm just saying there are enough new synthetics out there, and things that they haven't been able to detect yet. Aaron Judge is a guy who hasn't got close to this number before because of some health things. It's like all of a sudden he's staying healthy for a full season. So again, I'm not saying, but at the same time, to break, it's amazing because of all these other records, the Bonds and the McGwire and Sosa. Obviously, we know they're in the National League, but I think it kind of got swept up, back in 97 with the home run chase and all that stuff, that this is still the American League record, that Roger Maris, through all this, even though he doesn't have the big league record, 61 is still the American League record and the Yankee record. And Judge is just smashing home runs left and right. So, I'm not a Yankee fan by any stretch of the imagination either. I don't necessarily hate Aaron Judge, but I think it's a record, if he gets it, that, they need to really celebrate, considering basically all these other records should really just be thrown in the garbage can.
And last thing I'll kind of say on this is if he gets that 62, the Yankees just look that much worse, because they could not get him locked up before this season.
Yep.
And now he's going to potentially break the AL record held by a Yankee. So he's going to be the leading Yankee home run leader. He could be the leading AL home run leader all time. That's this right here. That's money signs in Aaron Judge's eyes. And you got to give credit to Aaron Judge because he turned down the money in a contract year and he's hitting all these freaking home runs.
That's right. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight as we finish with a little baseball talk. And don't forget, we've got IB Countdown to Kickoff 10 o'clock Saturday morning live right here on the YouTube channel. You will find it on the podcast channels as well. Afterwards, don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe, rate, review, comment, all that good stuff. We do appreciate it. Jesse, have a good weekend. Enjoy the wedding that you're going to. And, find us afterwards. I'm sure you'll be able to find it.
Oh yeah, I'm leaving everyone on this. I'm gonna find everyone when Tariq Bracy gets that interception, and when you see Cal passing the ball 90% of the time when they come out as shotgun 11 personnel, you know where to find me.
That's right. All right, we're looking for Tariq Bracy. We will talk to you Saturday next week as well on this show, IB Nation Sports Talk.